Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Driven by Purpose with me, Armin Jamula. Today we're driving and diving into the world of ethical entrepreneurship with the Daily Me and the founder of the Daily Me, Rasha AbuRas. Hi Rasha.
Hi Armin. Thank you so much for having me today.
You're most welcome. So Rasha, let's start from the beginning. How did you begin transforming your business vision into a sustainable reality?
I'm a pharmacist and I used to work in pharmacies, having clients asking me for advice. I noticed that they don't know exactly what they need, so they have a problem in identifying their problems. In the same time, selecting a product nowadays is very much overwhelming because of the massive amount of products that you have out there in the market. It's really hard to know what is the right fit for yourself. In the same time, me looking at this huge amount of products that are produced and saying like, oh my God, all these chemicals or these plastic packages that are sitting on the shelf waiting for someone to buy them, and that might end up in waste one time,
Yes. Yes.
So I thought about, okay, how can I do this in more simple way that serves the customer, in the same time do it in a more sustainable manner and more eco-friendly manner. So I came out with a customizable skincare concept where we use AI and technology to help the customer customize their own product. This way, they actually identify what's their problem and create a product that is exactly related to their problem instead of looking for this product. In the same time, we're not producing so much, products with the different lines, one for aging, one for whitening, one for dry skin, one for oily skin. We have a cream and a serum, and we are customizing it according to their to customer need, and tailoring it to be a multi-purpose product even. This way, we are reducing the consumption, we are reducing the production from the very first beginning, and we are putting less chemicals on our skin, less waste into the environment.
That's amazing. And I'm really, really impressed by the entire thought, because it's so important to make sure you're making conscious decisions at even the smallest of the smallest level.
Yeah.
So the next question that comes to my mind, and we could talk about, is as your business is going to grow, maintaining the core mission and values will be very, very challenging, and it will kind of get daunting at times as well. You might want to take that step and not make that right decision morally or sustainably. How would you ensure remaining centrally throughout in a sustainable manner for your brand? How would you ensure that?
Well, profit is very important for every business, but in the same time, aligning this with the mission and vision of our brand. So having this financial, planning, but in the same time, aligning it with our vision and mission. So every decision that you take all along the way, starting from how you outsource your materials, how you communicate with your stakeholders, your suppliers, your customers, your employees, everyone have to be aligned and have to be reminded of this mission and putting it into consideration while taking each decision.
And from the beginning, right? As you said, it needs to be pre-planned enough.
Yes, I agree.
That's amazing, because at every given point when you're in the beginning, you might not have thought it through. The more you think things through, it just gets better. And when you're at scale, when you're at that stage of scaling a business, it's really very, very difficult to then change your operating model. So if you've thought it through, which you have, that's amazing.
I agree.
It's great. So Rasha, the next question that comes to my mind, being a sustainable skincare brand as Daily Me, scaling your business will not be easy, and it will be challenging. One of the biggest challenges will be eventually the resource management, right? All sorts of resource management. So what hurdles have you currently encountered, and what do you think you want to do with them later on, and how have you dealt with them?
Yeah. So Armin, being a startup, working on our finances always, we have to learn how to prioritize. And prioritize not only money, where to put it, also your time. and how you are actually using your time in the most appropriate and efficient manner. Also, for my startup, having physical goods, you have to understand also how you are managing your raw materials, your packaging, how much are you consuming and buying in order to have enough supply for a certain period of time, but not to create waste in the same time.
Yeah.
You know, doing things, I believe, as simple as possible is key, because simplicity makes you think of how can I make this as simple as possible. This means I am consuming less, I'm buying less, within the right limit. So there is a point where you have enough resources that is lasting you for whatever your marketing objective or sales objective is, but in the same time, not too much in order to waste it.
Yeah.
Speaking about packaging, in the same time, how to make it as minimal as possible, because thinking about things from an environmental perspective, we need to reduce consumption as much as possible.
Amazing. I think that's very, very aptly said. The next step would be measuring things. Measuring and communicating the impact that your business is making, especially for brands that are in the beginning of their stage and beginning of building their own story. How are you envisioning doing that?
I think I'm still in the learning phase in this matter. You have to set the right KPIs, not only from a financial perspective, also from the values that you are aligned with. So how is your impact on the environment? How is your impact on people? How are you empowering your clients and customers according to your vision and values? And one thing I learned from you, by the way, when you told me data. Learn how to, use the data and, as much as possible, gather data and learn from them and see where you can improve, what can you do, and how you can measure.
Thank you so much for that. I wish everyone learns from data from the day one, because that is actually building on, small bricks, but those small bricks are essentially your biggest and strongest foundation.
I can assure you that I'm still in the learning phase and I'm looking for more and more learning. So whatever you can help us with, we are more than happy to take.
Always here. Has anything changed in that experience when you've started thinking about data as one of your biggest priorities?
Of course. Everything. Your decisions are different, right? How you plan things are different at the same time.
Give me an example.
For example, marketing, let's say. Knowing the customer behavior or what are the customers are liking and what is not, you will understand, how to focus on your messaging, create the right messaging. And this takes us to the previous question where we are optimizing our resources, right?
Exactly.
So all in all, of course, it's very important.
Amazing. I'm glad I'm helping. Now comes the biggest question, I would say, in any business, profitability.
Yeah.
With social and environmental missions, profitability does take, let's say, a smaller priority, or could take a smaller priority. But then it comes to a question of how can you sustain a business without being profitable or profitable enough? Where are you at?
I honestly, Armin, think that creating a sustainable business and conscious business does not mean that you put profitability as a second priority. We can still be profitable, and we can actually, sometimes you can even save. Really? Because we are talking about reducing consumption and saving. So that does not mean that you are less profitable, by the way. Yeah. You can optimize your resources. And there, when it comes, that you balance between, again, aligning both profitability and creating a profitable business, because after all, this is the goal of any business, right? But in the same time, aligning it with your vision and not let anyone overcome the other. Creating the balance is very important.
Yeah. So I totally get that. And I can actually imagine how you would do it in your space, because consumption, even buying the raw material at a different level or at a different rate, would really help you become profitable in the long run, right? That is what your resource.
You can outsource cheaper raw materials from maybe like less quality or less ethical sources. I for sure, like, this impacts the price of your end product. But also customers, if they are conscious, they have to understand that if you want to be sustainable, then you have to pay maybe a little bit more price for that, because the supply chain, all of it, need to be in a certain way.
So this comes to a question that's a little bit of a segue. Even the brands that we know are not sustainable or haven't been sustainable for this probably a century now, are now taking on, the sustainable hat or wearing the sustainable hat, which means your products would essentially compete with those brands who already have a set supply chain, a set production model, a set, cogs and wheels everywhere, everything in place. How do you think you would be able to fight that price war?
Well, first, as a small business, we are more able to adjust. And as you said, from the beginning, this is the key. From the beginning, we have aligned our vision and our plans. So for them to actually reach a point where they actually fully, operating in a sustainable manner, it takes some time. This is number one. Number two, let's not only look at sustainability from environmental perspective. Sustainability is not only about that.
Yes.
Having a local brand that is locally made, manufacturing locally, creating opportunities locally, this is very important.
Absolutely.
So let's also think about the perspective of supporting the economy and making local businesses grow. It's very important.
Yep, absolutely. That's what we're here for, right? That's
Exactly.
what we're doing as well. Rasha, this is amazing. I just want to keep going, in different directions with you. It's a really interesting conversation. But I'd like to finish or conclude with the last two questions that we've got. Your relationship with us and It's Her Way specifically. It has been instrumental to, for many women and their entrepreneurial journeys. What has it done for you?
Having the community. So basically with It's Her Way, being with this environment and group of entrepreneur women, first gaining the support from you, the mentorship, the exposure in the same time, helping each other. So empowering not only entrepreneurs, like creating this community and helping each other, empowering each other, it's very important. You need also support. As an entrepreneur, going through lots of challenges and ups and downs, you need a place where you feel supported and where you feel understood. Having this community of women who understands you and know what you're going through.
Yeah. Yep.
In the same time, exposure, like very good exposure for your brand, creating awareness.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
Can you share one particular experience of, you're a relatively new member at
Yes.
It's Her Way, but one anecdotal experience, not with me, but with the members, or something that has really caught your attention and you're happy about being part of that experience?
As I mentioned, it's the collaboration between different members. I think this is crucial and this is very important.
So can you, give me an example of what you've experienced, at least, in the groups or the chatter that you're part of and you felt, this is something that I could use at a later stage?
Well, definitely. When, for example, you are, want to do something that you have never done before. All of us entrepreneurs, there are things that you're going to do for the first time, definitely. You will find someone when you are on a, community group asking, and you have tons of answers, telling you, guiding you, helping you, giving you a contact within their network. It's really nice.
That's amazing. One question that is, again, coming to my mind that I think I want to ask all my entrepreneurs today, Rasha, is that when you're part of a community, do you understand, or do you, before you join the community, do you clearly state the objectives to yourself of what you want from this community, or you're going, because you're a startup, you're going with arms wide open and an open mind to see what you can receive? What is the state of mind that you are in when you're joining a community?
Yeah, I think initially you must have a plan. And you must, because this is part of your time, part of your resources,
Absolutely.
And you have to understand how to use it. So you must have a plan. And for me, I think creating awareness about my brand and having this community was the main thing.
Yeah.
But there is no harm of keeping an open mind, because there are things that you might not be aware of that you will discover. So it's very important to have a direction and a plan, but in the same time, have an open mind to discover more.
Rasha, your insights and the conversation today has been incredibly enlightening. Thank you for sharing your time and your experience with us, and we hope that Daily Me becomes a household brand soon enough.
Thank you so much, Armin. Thank you for your time, and much appreciated. I really enjoyed the conversation.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
How was it?